Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Ali and this is Java with Ali, and today we are going to talk a little bit about running our program through our command console window, or command line prompt, or control window, as you'd like to call it. So I will introduce myself first. So I'm Ali. I am working in IT as a software developer, and I have been working in IT since 2004. I have degrees in technology, and now we are going to take a look at doing what we can to improve your life. So we spoke about last session, we talked about the hello class. Thank you so much for the comments on my videos, by the way. They really encourage me to make more. So we talked a little bit about our first method, and we also know that within our class we also have our method, and within our method we always have the public static void main, which is here. Always have this as our entry point. Our entry point for our program for Java is always public static void main. Okay, that's number one. Number two, a program is like an onion. It's got layers. So by that I mean we have a class. Within our class we have methods. Within every method there might be something that's going on. Within every class you might have properties as well, and within all of the classes they reside usually within a package. So you have package, then class, then methods, or you could have package, then class, properties, methods, properties within methods as well. We could do that too. And today we're going to look at just running it, and also take a brief overview on our lovely Eclipse here and why it's so useful. So Eclipse is the integrated development environment that I'm using currently. The other integrated development environments are things like NetBeans, or you can also use IntelliJ, or in some universities or programming schools, let's call them, you might use something like BlueJ as well as an integrated development environment, and that's basically what it is like a fancy text editor. And the reason why it's more like a little fancy text editor is because you're learning more when you're typing it, and there might not be what's called IntelliSense to auto predict what you're going to write. So it might be more useful to use something like that. For professional reasons we use Eclipse, so I'm going to use it the same, and this will give you an insight on using what we use in industry. So here we have our package explorer, we have test November Ali, and we have our JRE, which is our Java runtime environment. It's currently set to 11, but if you want to use a higher one, that's totally possible too. It doesn't really matter for our first couple of programs. It's more later on that the language has evolved. And by that I mean the same as what we talked about before, is that our Java language is the same as a regular language, human language that we learn. We have a dictionary, and the meanings evolve and change, and we add new things into them every single year, and the same with Java. So for instance, the most biggest things that happened in Java were streams and lambdas and things like that were quite different and new. They also updated the for loops, became enhanced for loops as well, so you didn't need a counter for them. Things like these features that came into the language as we went along. So enough about that. Let's look more at the package explorer. So we have our Java runtime environment. If I open it up, we always have our regular Java core parts of the language that are already here. We also have core things that are really useful later on. So java.sql, which is a structured query language, which basically means our database things. That comes way later. But for now, we're just concerned with the Java base. And because of that, we have java.lang. And within every single class, every single one within Java, it is assumed that every single one is part of the Java language. The minute you have a file that's called blah 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 dot, and the extension on that file is .java, it means it's the Java language, and as a result this will be used, java.lang. And then we look at all of these beautiful classes that are available for us to use without any problems, and things like object.class, because we're using an object-oriented language. So we have all of these here. Sun, the reason why it's Sun is because Sun Microsystems used to look after the language as well. Now, if I just close this, minimize, not close actually, just minimize, and we just look at our package explorer for now. We have our source package, and we have our test package Ali, and our 2 Java files. We only looked at one last week. If we're in Eclipse, we can also look at our window and different perspectives. So you can open up our debug perspective, which is going to close and open up different things as well. So if I look at that, it's going to look, when I execute the program, this is very useful later on, because when I execute the program, you're looking at this side of this little window here. If you have other windows that you want to see, you can go to editor and you can change it, or you can go to show view. And sometimes people use the project explorer. If I look at that, then you'll be able to see as well this similar, it's very similar to the if we look at show view package explorer, and you can also go here as well and take a look at these as well. So Java, JUnit is our test. Sometimes we have Maven, which is a build workspace, and there's loads of extensions that can be used. Anyway, so today we're going to look at running this within our debug shell. We can use as well right here, or we can look at it within the console window. To do that very nicely, we can go to our hello class. If we right click on our hello class, we can go to copy qualified name. We can then use the Windows key and E, or if you're using an Apple, it's Apple key and E as well. You can open up a new Finder window within Windows. That's all I'm going to talk about today. So Windows and E, and you'll be able to look at an Explorer window. Within that, you can go look exactly at there. There we go so far. So it's pretty straightforward. Once you copy the qualified name, put it into your Explorer, as so. Now clear that and type CMD to open up a beautiful console window right there. If we want to invoke or call the compiler, we're going to say Java C and the name of our file. As we know already from the previous time, all our class names always start with a capital letter. So you can't go wrong if you don't all your class names start with a capital letter. You can do autocomplete with just the tab across, and that will bring up your class. Or in this case, we want the Java version, so it will go with alphabetical order, C or J, as I've compiled it already to check it before I started this tutorial. It has also class, and so that will generate hello.class. So if I go dir for if you're on a Windows, if you're on a Mac or a Linux machine, this will be ls, for instance, and it'll list out your things. Here you can see now I've got hello class.class and hello class.java. That's just compiling it. So we want to go Java hello class Java to compile it. Now if I actually don't put in the extension, this is what happens. So you're going to get an error, or you'll get your output within the console window, which is really cool. Howsoever, we are using a lovely console here that I can already change. So if I, for instance, forget to put in a semicolon and run it within our window here, you will see that it's on hello class.java 13. Which means it's on the 13 line. Now, sometimes the line numbers don't come up automatically within your integrated development environment. So you just need to make sure you put them also in it. If you have variables that you want to watch or follow, you can also do that as well. So this is watch point, it's called, and you'll be able to see it through on side this side of window. We have our debug here. So if I save and press debug this time, you'll be able to see where it is. What happens is things start changing because of our perspective, and we'll continue on in the next video. I'm so happy to start your trip off with learning programming, and please do like, share, and subscribe. Also comment below if you have any questions. Today was only a light video to get you stuck into it. Dip your fingers in, and yeah, repeat after me. Programming comes to me easily and effortlessly. Say that every single day and it will. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching.